Good morning, team. So awesome day yesterday. We totally nailed it, and really looking forward for the days to come. Okay, so awesome, 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 awesome. Now, a couple of things here for today that I'm looking at. Okay, so we're seeing futures at 39.50 area. Okay, so on our SPX map here, please recall that 3950 to 4000 is our chop range. Okay, so pretty much what that means is that if we remain above 3950, market's gonna hold. Okay, and you want to have that mindset knowing that you want to trade any sort of SPX fast. Okay, and take those profits whenever you have the opportunity within those range. Okay, now the reason why I say that is because there's still a lot of positions that can cause a retreat back to 4,000. Okay, very possible here because the positioning here with the covering rally could take us back all the way up there, since the FOMC decision was pretty much what we had expected. So as long as we remain as 39.50 range, most likely just trade them fast if you do like SPX, and that's one thing that you want to be concerned about as well. Okay, now under 39.50, that's where things start to get a little bit more interesting towards the downside. Okay, because that's when we got the 200-day MA test. If we break 39.50 at 39.30. Okay, so market went as low as that and then popped back above that key 39.50. Sorry, 39.30. Under 39.30, we can have a retest back to 3900. So it's interesting to jump into puts as long as we get under 39.50 and move lower. Okay, very likely to see a chop between 39.50 and 39.60 on SPX. Okay, now if you're our SPY trader, right, same thing, pretty much into the sideways range between 400 and 393. Okay, we're still within that range, pretty much pre-market here. We were close to entering that, but that's the following range that we're looking at. Okay, under 393, that's when the market starts to get into the bearish mode. And so far, if you guys want to trade these sideways ranges, two things you can do. You can either add some time to your play, so that way you lose, you don't get screwed when the trade goes against you by much, because in the chop market it always reverses. Or you could pretty much just sit out and wait for the trades at the prices you want. Or C, you can just avoid trading in all in general. Okay, because cash is a position, so please do keep that in mind as well. Okay, because you don't necessarily have to take positions. And if you had a great week so far, I know, I did. So pretty much, taking no positions is a no-brainer as well, if you want to relax and take it easy and move forward when the time is right. Okay, because this area, trust me when I tell you this, in the past as well, we've really identified this to the button here. And this map, is not just me putting layers out there. This is basically what I see as the option premiums and the hedging and the gamma levels. And I basically labeled what each range represents. Okay, so that's pretty much what I see here. And that's what I'll be watching as well. Okay. Now, for QQQ, actually, so it stopped exactly at the top of our bullish range. Okay, so another reason why these maps do matter. So we see a strong rejection at that point, and we're looking at to see, do we basically collapse back to 300 here? Okay, very possible. Now, with Powell raising rates, okay, So there comes a point when you reach an extremity, right? So now that rates continue to rise, we haven't really seen yields go up as well. But yields are pretty much holding steady here. And what yields represent is, especially the 10-year, is future interest rates. Okay, so the reason why these are lower is because market expects that future rate hikes are not sustainable. Okay, so the TNX 10-year yield represents future market interest rates. So after when banks start to collapse, the future guidance on rates is that these rates are not sustainable, and that's why yields like the 10-year are moving lower here. Okay, so even though in theory a lot of people say, hey, that's good for techs, really not the case, right? Because with the 10-year yield going lower in the short run, it's good for techs, but in the long run, it's bad because now we're in a deflationary period here. Inflation has peaked, and techs are struggling in the short run, pretty much because of the current rise in rates. Nothing more or nothing less about that. Okay. Now, for snow, pretty much untradeable the past few days because we're stuck in no man's land. Still need to break above 145. I'll say 142 is the best entry for calls back to the upside. Otherwise, wait for 132 towards the downside. Not really playable right now. Morgan Stanley looks like it wants to retest the 200-day MA, so watch for that 86 level. We played this before, but pretty much I think GS is a better bank to trade, okay? Because this here is now under its 200-day MA, okay? So GS has more of a more weakness than compared to Morgan Stanley, right? Because Morgan Stanley is about to test that huge level here. It looks like there's going to be a potential death cross that will eventually come on GS, and down the road it looks like 280 290 can come. So this stock, if you want to do a nice hold in short, you can as well. We do have puts on this that we're swinging, and watch FRC, guys, because every time this goes negative, market starts to collapse. So you want to see if FRC goes back in the red again, because if it does, then most likely SPX is probably under 39.50 for today as well. And Apple, it's still very strong, so it's above our bullish range here, and they're pretty much buying companies that have large cash resources. So Apple has the most cash, and that's why its stock is holding steady because of the cash pile that they have. And this is usually a good thing during bear markets. Okay, so not tradable because the movements are very minimal, but still worthy to note is that this here is one of the key things that's holding the market right now. MSTR strong off Bitcoin. Okay, so as long as that keeps going, that will really push. So I do like some calls on this, for next week. But the problem here is that I'm waiting for the premiums to calm down before jumping into it, right? But if I was to get next week's, I would try to get 330 340 calls, and I'll be watching those as well. And last stock I'm going to go over is Coin. Okay, so Coin is down, and that I believe has to do with some sort of news here. I never really got a chance to look at it. I know that insiders were really selling a lot of these the shares here. So interesting to see, are they on the verge of collapse? Maybe, who knows? But if they are, then basically they can move a lot lower. So they're basically, I believe, being so they have a hearing due to some sort of fraud because of customers who sued after a scammer stole money. From what I'm hearing, I don't know if that's true or not, but there's a lot of negative news on this stock here, and let's see how it works, because this will probably be a nice short back down to 60 or even 40. Okay, so it has been getting crushed consecutively pre-market. But one thing I know about coin, when it starts to move like this, it needs big moves in order for the option premiums to actually move. So just keep that in mind as well. You may have to pay an arm and leg just to get this here. Now for our SPXs here, so this is our current watch list that we're watching right now. Okay, so I'm seeing that call premiums are pretty much bouncing off their low of the day prices here. And I'm seeing that, puts are decaying a lot in value, right? Put premiums are down almost 50%, which is going to give a nice opportunity to jump into, right? So looking at the 3930 puts here, seeing if they can get, to 1 to 5 or lower. If they get to 2, I think that would be the strongest support on the 3930 puts at around 2. So watch out for that. See if we can get a nice entry on those. Okay. So pretty much I would say that would be the play of the day. But in order for the market to show a huge sign of weakness, is you want to see your text collapse. Okay. And we do know that techs have been cratering, right? So want to see how that looks overall. If Tesla does dump, then it has really 185 written all over it here. So I'll be watching to see if that happens for today. And NVIDIA, very strong stock as well. I never got a chance to really talk about this, but it has a long way down if it does really crash. But I don't think this stock is going to really get hurt here because strong support at around 260. So let's see if 260 holds, and we're keeping an eye on that as well. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoy the call. Let's get that money, and I'll see you guys in the chat room. And for anyone watching on YouTube, you guys are welcome to message me if you are interested in a trial or need any inquiries to join our mentorship. So thank you guys. I'll see you soon.